This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I would like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Mr. Lakshmipati, to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmipati. I'll be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Mr. Rajendra Kumar, the Business Development Manager, South and East Asia, Bravo Equipment Limited, Canada. Mr. Rajendra Kumar will be speaking on the topic Profitable Vegetable Cultivation in Tropical Dry Regions. I now request the speaker to begin.
Thank you, Lakshmipati and Rajni.
Welcome.
And good afternoon to all of you. I wish all of you are doing well during this COVID time. So I wish a good health all of you to your families and yourself. So I will be speaking today on profitable vegetable cultivation in tropical dry region. So, as all of you know that this tropical dry region in India lies in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, where actually you have a temperature very high during summers, and rainfall is very less, maybe varying from 0 to 500 mm. And this area also have a high salinity. Dusty winds takes place during summers, and winter frost also in some part of Rajasthan. Sandy soils, which make very difficult to grow the crops in this region. So, and also this region also have a high pest and disease problem, especially the desert locust that occurred last year also. So challenge in this region is as I explained earlier, it's a hot temperature, very high, 45 plus, and very erratic rainfall, and it's a very less rainfall there also. So I have already mentioned, so I will not repeat. High temperature actually affects the plant growth and development, and ultimately yield also. And if temperature is above 25 degree, it affects the pollination and fruit set in a lot of vegetables, especially in tomato. And it also causes a flower drop aversion, poor fruit set, fruit drop in chilies and sweet pepper also. So germination will not take place if temperature is 42 in cucumbers, watermelons, summer squash, winter squash, and pumpkin seeds. So this temperature also called that bolting in some of the cole crops like cabbage, cauliflower. Low rainfall and less availability of water, irrigation water, especially in this region. As I have told you, this region experiences almost 0 to 500 mm of rainfall per annum, which is very erratic. Some years it takes place, some years it doesn't take place. So there is due to a low moisture, there is a poor germination of vegetable seeds. And it also, the moisture stress reduce the yield of many vegetables, especially tomato. And drought stress causes an increase in solute concentration in the soil, leading to osmotic flow of the water out of the plant. Solute means the soluble salts that are present in the soil or in the water. So soil salinity is a big problem in Rajasthan, in Kucch area of Gujarat, and even in Haryana, some certain parts. So it is a measure of concentration of all the soluble salts in soil water and is measured as a electrical conductivity. Optimal EC range in the soil varies from 110 to 570 millisiemens per meter square. If it is a low, then it indicates the low level of nutrients, and if it is high, then it indicates the excess of nutrients present in the soil. So high salinity reduces the growth and productivity of vegetable crops. Pest and disease, as I told earlier also, that with the increase in temperature, it shortened the life cycle of aphids and diamond back moth. And high temperature also increase the insect development, insect outbreaks, and invasive species introductions. So as I told that desert locust cause a lot of damage in this western part of Rajasthan, Punjab. It comes from Pakistan side to India. So vegetable crops production in the open field, it's limited by climatic factors such as cold, heat, wind, rain, hail, and insects also. So normally that when we grow in the open field, it is a nature without protection. So it has advantage, and it has many disadvantages also, because most of grower or farmer, they are very experienced in the open field. They can grow in a very large area when the conditions are very optimal. So there is almost zero capital investment in the open field. But there are a lot of disadvantages due to the adverse climatic condition and change in the weather pattern taking place in the last 2 decades. So farmer, they realize actually very low prices, because they harvest the crop when there is a harvesting almost everywhere in the open field. And frost, hail, rains, strong winds, they can destroy your crop in the open field. So I will not go into details. You may see in this chart also. So now that how to protect our crops. So there are best solutions for the desert climate, or you can say the tropical dry condition. Net houses is the best option, is the cheapest one. And if you are going for a more advanced, then you can adopt a retractable flat roof type structure in this area. So net houses, basically they are actually there are 2 types actually. It can be with the covering of insect net, or maybe the shade net, a different variant of the shade net. So there are 2 types of net houses. That flat type, that having the height of 3.5 to 4 meter, and modular type that have a height of 4.5 to 5 meter. So there are different specifications in different regions for that. So even the government of India is the Ministry of Agriculture through National Horticulture Board, and MIDS, Ministry of Integrated Development of Horticulture, Mission of Integrated Development of Horticulture. So these schemes, the department, they are promoting actually these net houses in a big way in India. So net houses, they have a advantage: low cost, very easy to cover the large area. Crop develops naturally since they are exposed to some direct sunlight, lower insect pressure than the open field, extend the harvest several months compared to the field grown crops. But it has a disadvantage also, that quality and yield drops in the spring when radiation and temperature increase. And there is a disease pressure during the monsoon period because of rain and high humidity, dew and fog during winter. So it is if you are planning to grow organically, so it is difficult to grow under such system. So, but we need actually what the best solution for this climate actually. So that we need to cool down the summer temperature. We need to heat up the winter environment, especially in the northern area, Rajasthan, Haryana, and Punjab, where winter temperature dips very low. And we need to conserve humidity actually, because during summer period the humidity is very low, moisture is very low in most of these areas. And we need to protect the crop against the frost, wind, the dust, then erratic rainfall and hailstorm. Hailstorm has actually causing a lot of problem in the western part in the last few years actually. So they are destroying these fruit crops, especially the grapes and other crops. So we have to protect against the insect pest also. So we have a solution for that. So beside the net house, as I told you, that if you are going for a higher level of technology, then you need to adopt this retractable roof production system, which is called RRPS. So I will share one video here.
The retractable roof production system, or RRPS, has been developed by Cravo over the last 35 years to help growers create superior results using a system that combines the benefits of climate optimization, nature, and protection. Compared to growing in the open field or in conventional greenhouses, tunnels, or shade houses, automatic retractable roof houses can help growers significantly improve yield, quality, extend the harvest window, fruit firmness and bricks, shelf life, and naturally improve resistance to both disease and pests. Open field growers know only too well how their yield, quality, and timing of harvest is affected by the seasonal weather changes from spring to summer to fall to winter. But the biggest risks to crops come from extreme changes in the weather, freezing temperatures, heavy rains, hail, and extreme summer heat. Whereas if you are a grower who has already built greenhouses, tunnels, or shade houses to protect from adverse weather conditions or grow crops out of season, well, you have probably already experienced that you face completely different problems compared to those you experience with outside field crops. When growing crops under stationary plastic or net, the plants can exhibit any of the following traits. 1, they stretch or grow taller. 2, they are vegetative, meaning they may produce more leaves requiring more pruning, and they may produce fewer fruit that also may be smaller and softer. 3, the leaves are large and thin, which creates a greater susceptibility to insect attack and foliar disease. 4, they may be more susceptible to virus. 5, they may be experiencing greater nutritional related problems like blossom end rot, for example, caused by a deficiency in calcium uptake. 6, flowers can have problems with pollination. 7, or the flowers may pollinate but then abort, especially when summer temperatures become high. The fact that around the world plants in a protective environment can have these 7 physiological problems raises 7 critical questions. 1, How is it possible that simply covering a plant with plastic or insect net can cause these physiological changes in how plants develop? 2. Why are these problems so difficult to prevent in a conventional greenhouse, tunnel, or shade house? 3. Why is it typically easier to grow crops in a conventional greenhouse or tunnel in a cold climate compared to a hot climate? 4. Why do growers in mild and hot climates typically achieve better results in a retractable roof than in a stationary roof structure? 5. Why do most growers in the world not properly identify what is really causing all these problems? 6. Why do conventional greenhouse controllers not show us precisely what is causing these problems so that growers can prevent this problem? 7. And finally, why do growers in automatic retractable roofs tend not to have these problems? When growers started using automatic retractable roof houses over 30 years ago, they started noticing that they were getting better quality, higher yields, and that plants had fewer problems with insect, disease, and nutritional deficiencies. But nobody could explain exactly why this was happening. Plus, there was no documented best practices to ensure that growers consistently achieve good results. So after 10 years of studying best practices and challenges in conventional greenhouses, tunnels, open fields, and retractable roofs, we have developed the Retractable Roof Production System, or RRPS. We are proud to say that the RRPS is a proven production system that helps growers in mild and hot climates achieve superior results, and that it can be easier to learn to grow in than a conventional greenhouse or open field, because the RRPS focuses on using the retractable roof to prevent the problems of both the open field and a permanently covered house. To help you learn how the RRPS works and why it is easy to use, we have created a one-of-a-kind series of 5 short videos which will help explain the chain of events which demonstrate the relationship between the growing environment and the response of plants to the surrounding climate.
So,
The retractable roof production.
I'm seeing in the chat box that some people might they could not see the this video. So I will post this video in the chat box later on. So now as you have seen that this is a technology developed by the Cravo for the tropical dry conditions, tropical and subtropical dry condition. So retractable roof has 4 type of models. Flat roof for the dry climate for large scale cultivation. Then X-frame is the model for the tropical humid climate. It is also for a large scale operation, or you can say the orchard covers. Rafter house, it's a wider span house, especially used for the nursery and some other specific uses. A-frame is a top model actually. It is for a extreme climate condition like where you have a very high wind speed in the eastern part of India, or maybe in the Himalaya where you have a very heavy snowfall. So these there are 4 type of applications that we have with the retractable roof system. One is we call it greenhouses. Then we call next one the cooling house, which are mostly applied in the tropical climate. Field covers, which are to cover any field, maybe hectares, many hectares. So then next one is the orchard covers, to cover the orchards. So depending on the roof covering and the crop grown, so this is the classification that we have. So retractable roof greenhouse, as the word greenhouse said, that to heat up the environment. So we have this type of structure for you can say for winter production in Punjab, Haryana, or Rajasthan, where you want to heat up the the winter climate environment. So in this, you have this roof. It is a clear roof, you can say that it's a transparent roof, which is actually made of polyethylene. It is a woven type plastic, and it has a life of 8 to 12 years, and in some areas it lasts up to 15 years also. So when you close this roof, actually, like here, and then it heat up the temperature. Normally, what we do in the winter, before the sunset, we close the roof before the sunset, so that whatever the heat that is, you can trap that heat in the structure, and that heat will last for your whole night. So normally this type of structure, they are installed 30 to 50 north-south latitude, or you can say that it's slightly higher elevation also. Even in the Leh Ladakh region, you can install such type of structure. These structure, they operate best where heat is a limiting than the cold, actually. Then we have this retractable roof cooling house. These are the structure, they are more popular in the tropical region. So here we have actually this roof is actually white in color, opaque in color. So it gives the maximum shade to the crops inside. So you can see here roof is partly open, and here it's completely closed during the daytime, during summer when temperature is 35 plus. So it works as a cloud, actually. You can, or a shade, umbrella shade. So it gives the shade during the daytime when your temperature is 35 plus. So normally this type of structure, they are best for your region in Karnataka or Telangana, even in Rajasthan, or most of the tropical region. So then we have actually, we can have a different applications, specifications here also. We can have a double roof here. One is actually this, you can see that clear on the top, then white below. So that you can operate this roof for summer cooling and winter heating. So it serves the both purpose. And you can have actually two different roofs here also for growing two different set of crops. One crop it need more temperature, other crop it need more cooling. So you can have this white roof, or you can have this opaque type, clear roof here. So this type of you can apply here also. So you can have the insect net also. It may be a stationary. In a desert condition, you can put up a permanent stationary insect net, because in those regions you have to conserve your humidity. So you can put up a permanent one. And if you want to have a more sunlight during winter period, so you're gonna put up a retractable insect net also. So that gives more sunlight during winter period. So I will explain it how we actually use this in what is the impact of insect or without insect.
It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on June the 6th, 2015, and we are in the Cravo demonstration greenhouse in Culiacan. And we're just going to look at the temperature and humidity differences between the retractable roof without the insect net and the retractable roof with the insect net. So currently, the outdoor black plate temperature is 39 degrees. We have 5 degrees 5 km/h winds. And when we look at the temperature and humidity, right here is the side without the insect net, and we can see the air temperature is 36 degrees and the relative humidity is 49%. And over here is where we have the insect net, and the air temperature is only 1 degree higher, but the relative humidity went from 49 to 70%. So what we're learning from this is during the high heat and humidity conditions, the insect net is helping to trap more of the humidity, and the plants are definitely performing better right now under the insect net because of the fact that the air temperature is similar, but the higher relative humidity is lowering the transpiration rate. Over here, without the insect net, we're running into a much lower humidity, and so to compensate, it would be ideal to add a misting system so that we can boost the humidity and help lower the air temperatures.
So, but it shows that this video that if you have a insect net, so you can have a double benefit of that. One, that it conserves your moisture, and second, you can protect your crop against the insect pest. So this is the third application that you can cover any large area. It may be 1 hectare or 10 hectare or 20 hectare. So you can, as per shape of your land, you can also utilize your land. You can see here also, it's a zigzag. So there are a lot of jogs here. So you can cover any land. So that's why it is called a field covers also. So we have in India that we are having now 45 hectare of a single structure, that 115 acre actually. So if you convert into acres, so it's 115 acres that is coming up now in Western UP. So we already have this flat roof here in India with the Namdhari in Bangalore, in Karnataka, and with the DS group in Mathura, Vrindavan. So here you can see these field cover. These are all large field covers. You can cover any land. Here you can put up a orchard also, fruit trees under these this flat roof covering here. Here you can see it's avocado, it's a mango, and on this side you can see that blueberries. It is being grown here in India also, in Vrindavan. And as I told you, now 115 acres is coming up in Western UP. So you will see next year there's a big installation is coming up here also. So I will explain about some of the crops that very important crops in this region that you can grow profitably. So cucumber is the most profitable crop. You can have a 3 or 4 cycle of cucumber under the retractable roof. Normally 3 cycle is taken by the most of grower in the net house also. So cucumber is a very sensitive to cold actually. It require a 15 to 35 degree ideal is a temperature, that ideal temperature for this cultivation. And this night temperature should be less than 25 degree for the cucumber, even for tomato also. If it is less than 25, so you will have a good flowering, fruit setting. So producing cucumber when temperature exceeds 30 degree is a very challenging in the conventional system, because means that in the net house or in even polyhouse, then because it heat up, temperature goes up, so then there is abortion, flower abortion, and some pollination issues also. So as I have told you that normally 3 crop cycle can be taken easily, And in the retractable roof, it has been recorded that you can take the yield of 40 to 50 kg per square meter in any flat roof structure. So here is a small video also that is a proof of that you can grow this crop when temperature is 35 plus.
It is May 10th, 2017, and it is 1:18 in the afternoon. And the temperature and humidity outside here in Culiacan, Mexico, the air temperature is 35 Celsius and the relative humidity outside is 26 degrees. When we look at the black plate temperature outside, it is 41.6. And we're going to go look at the planting of tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers that were transplanted the first week of March. And inside we have 32 degrees and 45% humidity. And again, outside we had 35 degrees and 29% humidity. So we're now going to go inside to take a look at the summer planting cycle. So here we have the retractable white cooling roof with a stationary layer of insect net underneath. And we can see that the roof is closed approximately 85%, so there's a 15% opening. And we can see we have European cucumbers here and Persian, both transplanted or planted around March the 2nd. You can hear the low pressure misting system that is being activated to help reduce the air temperature.
So I will go a little fast forward. So you can see that in the same structure, you can grow multiple crops, cucumber, capsicum, tomato in the same house. So normally this place Culiacan is 24-degree latitude actually. So it's the same as the Jaipur in Rajasthan. So same latitude, same climatic condition, same elevation also. So you can see that we can very easily grow these crops from March onward till October, November. So that is the period when your prices are very high in this desert type of condition. And now next crop is leafy and herbs. So you can see here also that we are growing all kind of leafy and herbs in this Gurgaon conditions in Delhi, near Delhi. So then tomato is the next very important crop. So if you are able to produce during summer period, so you can get a very good price especially during monsoon period, when there is a gap between the demand and supply and prices go up, especially in the during heavy rainy season. So you can grow both type of tomato, the long cycle and the short cycle also, depending upon your market. And you can also increase the planting density by in this type of system. Normally 3.5 plants per square meter is planted in the retractable roof. So as per our experience, so you can get a yield of 35 to 45 kg in case of this table tomato. And for cherry tomato, between 20 to 25 kg per square meter. And beef tomato is heavy, larger in size. So you can get 50 to 55 kg per square meter in this tropical condition. So I will share another video. It's a very large project in Mexico in the same desert type condition. So they are growing this organic tomato inside the Crabos retractable roof and marketing in the USA.
Eagle Eye Produce and Agricola Pony are teaming up to supply you with high-quality Pony brand Roma tomatoes. To extend the number of months that Eagle Eye Produce Roma tomatoes are available and to ensure that the supply is not disrupted by erratic weather patterns, Agricola Pony is now producing all their Romas in Cravo retractable roof greenhouses. The roofs of this 108-acre facility can be completely retracted in 6 minutes to expose the tomato plants to nature's goodness. But yet the roofs can also automatically close in 6 minutes to protect crops from nature's hail, excessive cold, heat, wind, or the impact of hard rain. In addition to extending the harvest season, the retractable roofs are allowing the growers at Agricola Pony to use the best of Mother Nature and the best of a greenhouse, allowing them to produce tomatoes sustainably by eliminating the need for fossil fuel heating and using precious water efficiently. In addition, the retractable roofs help Eagle Eye Produce and Agricola Pony grow plants that are naturally stronger and healthier, helping to reduce or eliminate disease and insect pressure. The combination of the natural sunlight plus protection from adverse conditions helps produce tomatoes that are generally larger and look like a greenhouse-grown tomato. However, it's what's inside that really counts. While Eagle Eye Produce Pony brand Romas may look like a greenhouse tomato, exposing the tomatoes to the natural outdoors helps them to taste like a garden-grown tomato with a lot of flesh, helping to extend the shelf life and to make them easily sliceable, like a tomato should be. Look for Pony brand Roma tomatoes available from Eagle Eye Produce from mid-December until June.
So you can see these tomato, they are full of juicy. They have a very long shelf life. They can last up to 30 days also. So that's the advantage of growing the tomato or any vegetable in under the retractable roof. So capsicum is the another promising crop in this region. So it is as I told you that when temperature cross 30 degrees, so it's very difficult to grow capsicum, tomato in a conventional polyhouse or net house. So then retractable roof is an option. So you can harvest these capsicum, whether it's a green or colored one, for 7 to 9 months, depending upon the variety. Even when you have a temperature of 40 degree plus. So normally that green capsicum, you can take the yield of 20 to 25 kg per square meter, and colored one, as it takes a longer time to ripen, so yield is less than green capsicum, so it is 15 to 20 kg per square meter. So we have done a lot of this self life test of the capsicum grown under the retractable roof and under the net house. So it has been found that the wall thickness of the capsicum is 13 to 25% higher in Crabo in a retractable roof, and fruit firmness is 40% higher. So you can see that your capsicum can last 14-15 days longer as compared to the grown in the net house. So dehydration is 35% less. So after the harvesting of the fruit, that means that it has a longer shelf life, and color is also very uniform and very good quality capsicum. So we are now having a very large project in Telangana. The company called Triangle Farm. So they are growing in 15 acres. So you will in coming days you will see the quality and yield of this colored capsicum from that farm. So we have some design option for this sweet pepper production in the tropical dry region. The optimal retractable roof design will depend upon whether summer humidity levels are high or low, and whether insect pose a big problem. So as per your climatic condition, so we can design the system. If insects are a challenge, then summer humidity level are low, then it will be an advantage to install insect net below the retractable roof. So what we do here, we do install a stationary insect net below this roof. So then you can conserve your humidity and protect against the insects also. The insect net under the roof help to provide a stable microclimate that is free from insect help to reduce the losses from the vapor bubble. So I will not go into details. So we have since 2014, so we have these projects in India. First of all, we set up a Namdhari project in 2015. Then we did in this project in Thailand, then with the tower in Delhi, with the DS Grow in 2018. Then these are the projects that we have completed now. So Namdhari, basically, this is a 1 hectare project. So they have done 3 growing zones. So they are growing a 3 set of crops in the same house. So this is the project actually we did in Qatar in 2019. So you can see that in Qatar condition where temperature is high and humidity is very high sometimes and sometimes very low. So you can grow these coal crops, then these cucumbers inside. So this is a brief video. So I will show the uh, of this project.
In Qatar, it's very harsh conditions, high temperature, high humidity. To overcome to these challenges is not easy. So you must have special techniques and special agriculture practice in order to overcome to these issues.
So you can see here that leaf temperature is 10 to 25 degree less as compare inside the house as compared to outside. So this is the cooling roof, impact of the cooling roof. So it lowers down your temperature inside, not air temperature. It's a leaf temperature actually, which is very important for photosynthesis. So lastly, I want to show you this video. This actually it's a testimony of the first vegetable grower who has installed this Cravo structure almost 20 years back. So what he says about this type of structure and technology. So you can.
We are here at Happy Quail Farms in Palo Alto, California, and I'm with David Winsberg, who is the owner of Happy Quail Farms. David, can you tell me a little bit about your farm? How long have you been here?
We've been here in 34 years. I actually grew up on a 600-acre farm in South Florida, growing mainly 1 to 3 varieties of bell peppers. We've moved, as I said, we started out here and evolved into a pepper farm over the first few years. Now we exclusively do peppers, but have about 30 to 50 cultivars.
David, you were the first person in the world to ever buy a Cravo retractable roof greenhouse for food crops. Everyone else was growing flowers or trees. What was the main factor that made you think about, that made you buy a retractable roof?
Well, here in the Bay Area, we have a fabulous growing season. It's long and the weather's fabulous, but it's often cool at night. So when I first started farming here, this had been an old carnation plastic house. And there were a lot of issues with the plastic house that I found out very quickly. If we didn't open them up at least once every year or two, we had salt buildup in the soils around it because we use drip irrigation. And there were other issues as well with just the growing season where we had too much humidity in the house or too much heat. So I really wanted something that I could remove the roof from to let the rain in during the winter, and yet would give me the ability to extend the season whenever the weather allows, as long as possible.
Now, considering that this soil has been farmed for 35 years and the retractable roof's been over this soil for 15 years, one of the questions I always get is, what about nematode buildup in the soil?
We haven't had serious issues. We had some cucumber root knot nematode in sections where I have grown, whenever I've grown cucumbers in one section for too long. So by moving them from site to site, I've gotten away from that. We haven't seen any serious issues with the peppers. We've ended up with good growth and very little problems. I've used some inoculums in the soil that are supposed to, and some beneficial releases of these various there's some nematodes that are predatory, and we've tried that with all relative success. Basically, it's never become a critical issue. We've never had it destroy it.
So from your opinion, is there a certain timeline? How much longer could you farm in the same soil here under the retractable roof?
I really don't see a limit coming up. We seem to be able to, maintain soil fertility and health without doing any radical changes. I haven't seen disease pressure remains about the same year to year. A lot of times is weather dependent. I'd say that's our biggest factor. If we get too much damp weather, fungal issues become our major factor in ending a season. But soil-borne.
So I will cut it short. So the purpose of showing this video, because there is a lot of nematode issue and salt buildup issue in the desert areas under the net house or poly house, because you have a permanent stationary roof there, so you can't allow your rainwater to come inside and wash down your excessive salt buildup. So this issue is coming very, very problematic to most of our growers in this region, especially those growing under the permanent stationary structure like net house or poly house. But under the retractable, you can use the same soil for many years actually, because during the rainy season you can allow the rainwater to come inside, so that you can wash your soil, so that leaching of the nematode and this excessive salt takes place. Otherwise, you have to either shift your structure or you have to bring the new soil into the structure. So that is a problem, a challenge in for the most of the growers in these desert areas. So now I will share some of the costing of the retractable roof flat structures. So I'm talking here only about the flat structure, no peak roof structure, because this desert area, it doesn't have a much heavy rainfall. So we have these standard house models. So smallest size we can supply is almost half acre. So that will be priced something like 4,000 rupee per square meter. And then if you are going for 1 hectare, then price will come down to 2,200 rupees. And if you are going for a 5 hectare, then price will come to something like to 1,500 rupee per square meter. So I have not included here the import duty, installation, and irrigation and fertigation cost that you have to incur additional. So thank you very much for having a patience and listening to me. So I welcome for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, for a very informative presentation. I now request the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Over to the participants. Please start posting your questions. First question is from Mr. Rajendra. Can you please stop sharing the screen?
Yes, I will do. Let me find the link actually. So I will do. Yes.
Yes. Okay. The first question is from Mr. No name. Okay, Mr. Shirish. Mr. Shirish asked the first question.
Yeah, Rajendra ji, this is Shirish from Hyderabad. Hope you're doing good.
Thank you, Girish sir.
Yeah. Rajendra ji, what is the mechanism that you use for the retractable roofs?
So it is actually a drive system and motor on the roof. So one motor will cover the area of almost you can say 9,000 square meter. It can open and close. So this opening and closing is just 5-6 minutes. Within 5-6 minutes, it will completely open any area. It may be 1 hectare or 10 hectare or 20 hectare, or it may close that area. So it is all actually drive system and motors on the roof.
All right. Do you give
And
any warranty, guarantee on the motors and the sheets? Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. The plastic that we use, it is a woven polyethylene. It has a actually life of, as I told you, 8 to 12 years. Sometimes it lasts for 15 years also. And the company, the manufacturer warranty is something like 5 years for this plastic. And the structure is actually, it's a very robust structure. So because Cravo is a Canadian company, so they use the material as per the American standard. So structure lasts long. It may be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So we are seeing the 35-year-old structures still. If you see in Australia or in USA, you will find them as new as just installed last year or maybe a few years back. So
Yeah. The other one, how are this cooling retractable roofs different from the regular one?
can you repeat, Shirish? Actually, I'm getting a disturbance, so let me see that.
Yeah, this is Shirish again. Just wanted to understand how are the cooling retractable ones different from the regular one? How is the cooling mechanism imposed in it?
Okay,
Thank you.
that's a good question. So normally, if you see the normal poly house or even net house, you have a stationary roof. You have a permanent roof actually. So whatever the condition, whether it's a summer or winter or rainy year, so that roof is stationary. So that doesn't change. But in this case, a roof will open and close as per your outside weather condition. In case of cooling roof, because in the most of tropical region, we put up a cooling roof. Cooling roof means it has a white color. So it will give your almost 85%, 85 to 90% shade when it is closed. It is just like an umbrella actually. When nowadays in a summer that if you put up a umbrella over your head, so you immediately you feel cool. What you are doing? You are not changing the air temperature. You are actually blocking the infrared radiation which create the heat. So same with the principle we use in the retractable roof, because we have a white cooling roof, so that will reduce your leaf temperature. Surface temperature means the body surface temperature, not the air temperature. So air temperature is not important for plant as leaf temperature, because when you are that stomata will close if your leaf temperature goes above 35 or less than 15 degree centigrade. In between 15 to 35, your stomata will open and photosynthesis will takes place.
Thank you. Just last one question.
Yeah.
I mean, is this something that we can replace the ones we already have, the traditional ones? Can we use the system on that? Thank you.
I think if you locally made manual system, you can I think you can do, but it may be for a smaller area. But Cravo actually we supply for a larger area that we it's actually weather controlled structure. So because we do a large scale installation, so you need a actually controller for that and automation also.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pamati.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Mr. Rajendra Kumar, it's a very nice presentation, excellent one. Say your cost is little when your area is less and cost is going up. And in India, it's, most of the people are small farmers, you know. So you should have some model which is like a kit like to start with 1,500, 1,000 square feet. Then we can go modular, something like that. So you should change your strategy of marketing in India, I think, because a lot of people are small farmers and it's new type of thing, and the standard polyhouse cost about 600 700 rupees per square feet, and your cost is very high comparatively, so to it's a give a entry barrier to any farmer venture into a new field.
That's a good question, but thank you very much for asking this question. So, but cost of material is cost of material, so you can't do with that, because you as a Canadian company, we can't compromise on the quality of the material. So that's the one issue. Second, the cost is high because there is a import duty issue there. So I think that if government relax on import duty, then probably the cost will be affordable to many people here in India. So for the last many years, so people are actually trying to reach to the government so that to reduce the import duty or give some additional incentive. So I think that things are now moving. So hopefully there will be some decisions in future. I'm hopeful for that.
So, or in this line, I want to give a suggestion. Say, can you do any indigenization of the pot like pole, steel pipe, something like that? You know, basic thing. Because already this shared net industry is here. I think the standard sizes will be there. You have to get only the special fabric material and retractable mechanism and controls. So other things can be tied up some joint venture like to start with. Then you can have your own factory. Do you have any joint venture here to indigenize the material to supply to South Asia?
Actually, We had a lot of discussion on this matter actually, because to put up a manufacturing unit here in India, so we need to have a order of something like 500 hectare per annum, so that you can have the local material, and you can avoid the import duties and transportation cost, also shipping cost. But until less we are not confident that if it is a 500 plus orders that we can get, so then definitely our company will make the investment as a joint venture, or maybe the Make in India program, something like that. So we are thinking in that direction, but still I think it need a lot of efforts.
No, so no, it's not only for India. You are covering the South Asia, isn't it? From this base.
Yeah. We
Okay,
are
thank you,
looking at that.
okay,
That if that.
So how
I
long
agree
it
with
will
you.
take?
Absolutely agree with you.
So when you order, say for 2,500 square feet for small size, how long it will take to get into
Yeah.
my field to run it? From
Normally
ordering
that
to installation.
normal time, because during COVID time, logistic is a very issue now, because shipping is getting delayed. You are not getting the manpower to load and unload the material. So in normal time, it is 4 months for manufacturing and delivering to your place, and then 2 months for installation. You can say
So
the
it must
6 months
6 months.
from
6
order
months. Thank
to yeah.
you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Rajendra, I want to read out a few questions from the chat window. The first question
Okay.
is from Mr. Jaidev. He wants to know, have you carried out any project in Rajasthan? If so, please share the details. The courage and all.
We are having a lot of discussions there, but yet we have not done any project in Rajasthan, Gujarat. But we have a
No,
project now.
Rajasthan.
Yeah, we do not have any project in Rajasthan and
Okay, right.
Gujarat. But Brindavan is actually, Mathura is closely close to Rajasthan also. So there we have the project of 5 acre. Same project,
Okay.
flat roof.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Next
And
question
they are
from
growing the blueberry, that normally that crop is grown in that in the cold region, but we are growing that blueberry in this Mathura region.
Thank you. Next question
Yeah.
from Jaidev. Do you provide advice on type of crop ideal for each respective region? For example, Western Rajasthan. Do you advise on the specific crop that is viable?
Yeah, definitely. Because as you see that our clients like Simply Fresh, Triangle Farm, DS, so all they are people, they are getting a technical and grower support from us, from our people, because we are a global company. So we have a people from Mexico, from USA, then Canada, then Holland, Turkey, Middle East, Australia, South Africa, India. So it's a global company. So we have a people who have expertise in growing in special crops, specific crops. So we provide technical support to our grower free of cost.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
Mr. Milig wants to know if there's any project you are doing in Konkan.
Yeah, it's actually Konkan is a very challenging area. Actually, it's a very humidity very high in that region. So people are approaching us because polyhouse and any structure is not working there because of high humidity and temperature. So I'm looking that if anybody is coming up, so we can put up. We would definitely love to work there.
Okay. One more
Yes, sir.
question from Mr. Jaidev. What will be the
Yes.
break even for an area of 1,600 square meters? If so, what type of crops? That was the region is Western Rajasthan.
It's a very small structure actually, because if you are looking for a commercial venture, then you have to go for a larger area. let's say that if you are wanting to grow the colored capsicum, then you must have a minimum area of 5 acres. So that is then you can achieve your return on investment in 4 or 5 years. Smaller structure maybe for if you are putting up a project in Gurgaon or in NCR region. So then you can grow all these leafy stuff, then cherry tomato and the snacking cucumbers. So there you can have some margins, some profit margin for a smaller structure. But normally that you need it's better to go for a larger area, because larger area, first of all, the cost of structure goes down, and you have a volume, and you can transport your material. You have a transportable, you can say, the material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. One last question from Mr. Jaydev again. What is the
Yeah.
investment for 5 acres? And what will be the break-even period for 5-acre investment?
As I have mentioned here in my here also, if you see that this one, if you are still able to see my slide, so for 5 acre is something 20,000 square meter. So the roughly the investment will be something like 3,000 rupees per square meter in that area. So depending upon crop, you can recover your this investment in 4 to 5 years. So we can speak in this regard, Mr. Jaydev. We can speak in this regard. You can take my number from this chat box. So we can talk. So I can share you the different models that I have worked, cost models I have worked on different crops, mainly on tomato, capsicum, cucumber. So we can discuss on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Rajendra. Any other questions,
Welcome.
participants? Any more participants? Okay, I think we have now come to the end of question round. I'd like to thank Mr. Rajendra Kumar
Yes,
on
sir.
behalf of Agriculture
Welcome.
Information for taking his time to speak with us. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I like to thank the speaker, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.